Hello, Abigail here with the astrology and tarot energy reading for the solar eclipse in Virgo. Yes, this is the final eclipse of eclipse season. We had our other Pisces eclipse over on the 7th. We had that new moon over back in August on the 23rd. And now we're wrapping it up with a 29 degrees Virgo eclipse on the 21st. It is intense, to say the least. It is a lot. 29 degrees is in astrology is called the anaretic degree. It is a degree of immense power and intensity. It is kind of the feeling of something right before something breaks. Think of it as like water tension right before it spills over a cup, or that moment when you're cracking a jar and you can feel the give, but it's still not quite releasing. That is this moment. And it is going to be hitting a lot of really beleaguered people. On the bright side, if you have been in the midst of conflict or some kind of upheaval or massive shift, this is a moment of great clarity coming on the tail end of that Mercury Sun conjunction that we just had with the South Node. But it is a South Node eclipse. So we are still releasing things, letting things go, making choices. This, especially this eclipse cycle, maybe it's just where I am in life. Maybe it's actually the energy overall, but it is so tied to karmic paths and processing past life stuff and moving through multiple patterns and timelines for all of us. And so it feels not just large in this moment, but is larger than life in the context of the expanse of our cosmic existence. It really leads to a lot of stress and overwhelm, which is going to be a part of this moment. But there is hope. So, astrologically, what we're looking at is a Saturn opposition. That's kind of the main signature of this moment. Saturn opposing the sun is hard. It is putting us up against our boundaries and our limits, how far we can go, how far we can push ourselves, how far we can be pushed. As I always say, please look at where this falls in your chart. It'll give you a better perspective of what you are specifically dealing with within the context of the day that you were born. But it is going to push us to a limit and force us to face our limitations and our abilities to move and process and exist in the world as it is. And that's going to be hard for a lot of us. Some of us are going to have to give up things. Some of us are going to have to leave some things behind. Some of us have already started that process, and most of us are already in that process and have started it. Obviously, for some, every once in a while, there's a person who's not super affected by eclipses. If that's you, congrats. But most of my clients, me included, are in the thick of it in this moment. And so know that this is also going to be a lot. Give yourself space and time to exist in the complexities of this moment. I truly don't believe in this moment that there is a right or wrong. There is simply what is best for you as a soul outside of the context of society, other people's opinions, any outside influences. This is truly about what is innately necessary for you and your soul. And so I really want to encourage you, even if you end up making a decision that other people don't agree with or that from the outside doesn't look good, it is for you. And staying true to yourself in this eclipse is really important. There is a sparkling of hope. It's not a tight sextile, but it is a sextile with Jupiter. We do have a sextile with Jupiter that the sun and the moon are going to be moving through during this time. And that is really going to offer us support. It is also going to offer us some really, I think, special moments of connection and a gift of care that is going to show up in a way that is unique to each and every one of us. So, yeah, don't leave this video thinking all gonna suck. Which I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a lot of energy, even if it's not hard. It's going to be overwhelming. But there's a lot of magic in this moment. And this moment is absolutely going to be pivotal in your soul journey. But you can only do what you can do in the context of the life that you exist now. So release the pressure and the need to do everything right and simply do what is best for you, what you are ready for. This eclipse has already pushed a lot of us beyond our limits. It's okay to sometimes not be ready for that big leap. I will say, if you aren't ready now for that big leap will come in the next eclipse season and the eclipse season after that, because we have these kind of in between eclipses as we move onto the next axis of Leo and Aquarius. But I want you to know in this moment that what is important is that you honor your experience and your needs and your soul journey. No one can make these choices for you. No one can pick the best path for you. And so, whatever you are doing now, as long as you are participating, it is enough. And the universe is going to put us in those situations that force us to do what we need to do, regardless. So, do what is most sustainable for you in this moment and honor the journey of your soul by recognizing your own limitations and the things that you are or are not ready for quite yet. I do think a lot of you are going to need past life rectification soon. I keep getting clients who would really benefit from it, but you can only do that type of work if you are absolutely ready to release certain patterns and cycles, and it's not a reflection on you if you are not ready yet. And that's what this eclipse is going to bring up: what we are and are not prepared for, what we can and cannot do within the context of our lives. And for many of us, the kind of physical limitations and the financial limitations are going to be really clear, and the emotional limitations. These are not signs of your failure. These are signs of the systems and the lives we've existed in. And you were, as long as you were doing your best and you are evolving as you can and gaining power and strength and advocating for yourself, that is enough in this moment. And I really feel like this is a special moment too, because with our tarot energy reading, the first card we got is the Star. And I love this card. This card is very special to me. It's always comforting. It is the card of hope. It's the card of belief. For me, in my specific practice, it's also the card of guidance and care from the universe. Also, when it comes into a reading with clients, it's usually the knock, knock, knock on the door from guides or ancestors or deities or a combination of all of them. And so know that in this moment, in this eclipse energy, that you are being guided and cared for, and that you have spiritual energies that have your back and who believe in you and who also understand the complexities of the situation you are in and the choices that you are currently making, and that it isn't your fault, the things that have happened to you, but it is your responsibility to take care of where you are in this moment. And you have who you need. This is also a call to connect with any deities or spirits or ancestors who have been calling to you. This can be through cultural signals if you have a culture that you're from that is very distinctive, or just signs that are specifically for you. This can be pictures coming up. This can be a reminder of someone who has passed on that you know of. It can also be signs from spirit, angel numbers, feathers, coins on the street are oftentimes spirits reaching out to us, or deities. Deities will sometimes allow intense situations to happen so that we are listening a little better. Um, or in the very least, they will be like, hey, you could probably really use my help here. Let's work together. Because your attention and energy benefits them as much as their power and energy can benefit you. So during this eclipse, keep your eye out for who maybe wants to work with you for a deepening in your spiritual life. We have the two great planets, the malefic and benefic, Jupiter and Saturn involved, and they have a lot to say and are often harbingers of these massive energies that we call deities. And then we have the Lovers. This is about connection. Of course it is. We're in Virgo. Virgo's connectivity is legendary, and it is about our connection to ourselves as much as it is about our connection to others. I really do love this card. It's so sweet and tender. It's about the parts of ourselves that we have separated from or abandoned or are afraid of, that we need to embrace and at least tend to, if we can't quite integrate it just yet. It's also about the people in our lives that we care about. The South Node is a place of purging, so we probably had to go through some either relational losses, or a lot of people have been losing jobs. This is the time to connect to those people who do support and love us, who are there for us, regardless of what place in life we're at. So I encourage you to connect with those people. This is also eclipses are a difficult time for romantic relationships. They're a difficult time for chosen relationships like friendships, or chosen family, people that we don't have to tread life with, but we choose to tread life with. This is a time to sit with them and sit with the complexities and sit with the difficulties and recognize what we need and what they need and what is most beneficial in compromise rather than most beneficial overall, because all humans are different and complicated, and there is no right or wrong in a lot of these situations, excluding abuse, of course. We do have a Seven of Swords. This is a really tricky moment because there is a lot of clarity at 29 degrees, but the immense pressure of it can create panic. So let the 2 weeks after the eclipse run off if you have any major decisions to make, unless you have been forced into a decision already. But if the decision is purely based on your action, take some time because you don't have all of the information or all of the pieces yet. Some of the daggers are missing and have been taken by a coyote. Um, so, understand that what is required from you right now is participation, it is recognition, but knowing exactly what happens next is not required from you. And I think a lot of the lessons of the North Node in Pisces is that we are all, in a sense, regardless of how stable things seem, in free fall. And that is the human experience, is that we cannot control the future. And so we are, you can see it as being kind of at the hands of the future, but we're also just existing in it, flowing through time. Also, I encourage you, if you haven't, especially if you're a spiritual practitioner, look into how different cultures perceive and view time. It's really interesting, and while maybe you don't change your complete perspective of time, it might help you loosen up some of the extreme beliefs in time that we have as Western societies. But just know you don't have all the information yet. And a part of that is so that you learn to trust in these next incremental steps when it comes to trusting your desire and your intention, which is very Page of Cups. I also love this red thread of fate around his ankles that the bunny has. These things are happening and unfolding for a reason. When I say a reason, I don't mean as a justification for your suffering, but things are happening. And we're being asked to tune in to our internal desires and to release progress and capitalistic kind of perceptions of moving ahead and attainment in order to really listen to what feeds and meets us the most. Doesn't mean we can escape the systems we're in, but it means that we can become more attuned to the systems we deserve to be in, and that will help us create them. And last but not least, Seven of Coins. This is a continuation of work that we've already been doing. This is going to be laborious. It is in Virgo. We are going to have to put effort in. Doesn't mean it's not valuable, doesn't mean it's a pain. It just means that we're going to have to get our hands dirty and we're going to have to deal with the tiredness and struggle that labor is. But it is also an encouragement to view labor not as the wage slaves that we have been raised to be, but as someone that is building a better tomorrow and a community and a light and a guide for the people who are around you and who are with you. And because the card just fell over, I'm going to leave you with these three. We have Three of Cups, Eight of Swords, Six of Wands. There is a lot to celebrate in this moon. The connection with friends, the achievements and attainments we have. However, very much tied to that Seven of Swords, we are not going to be able to lightning move forward yet. There's a lot of tricky stuff happening in Libra season as we move into it. This eclipse happens the day before we enter into Libra season, the day before this, fall equinox, because that is when that occurs. Celebrate where you can celebrate. Be patient where you can be patient, and connect to those you love. Anyways, that is my reading for this solar eclipse in Virgo. It is a lot, but it is necessary, which is very much the slogan of Virgo. Anyways, if you like my stuff, please like and subscribe. Pop any questions you have in the comments. You can also find me on other sites under the same name. and blessed solar eclipse in Virgo.